Support this podcast via our Patreon and get more writerly goodness. Visit patreon.com/nanocast to join up.
Welcome to NaNoWriMo Every Month. My name is J. Daniel Sawyer. I'm the author of some 20 books, 34 short stories, and numerous articles and other things, and I am your guide on this journey to use NaNoWriMo to level up to professional output levels. Welcome to The Questions, Episode 94. Today, JR asks, what are your thoughts on merchandise for your novel? The writer's swag that the authors all over YouTube have for their books. I'm kind of jealous, but is it a vanity or can it make you money? Thoughts on this from a practical business perspective. Great question, JR, and here's where we get back into a fundamental part of the IP business, which I don't think I've talked about, and that is the notion of little streams of nickels. Each of the rights that you can imagine splitting off from your main work can yield you a stream of nickels. It might be advertising revenue from YouTube. It might be ebook sales, or it might be paperback sales, or it might be library sales, or it might be licensing rights for a role-playing game written in Swahili. Each of these is a way for your story, be it short story or novel, to produce cash flow for your business. Any way that you can do this is a good way, and merchandising is certainly a way to pull this off. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to go out of your way to merchandise the hell out of everything, because there is a question of your time investment. There's also a question of economies of scale. If you've got the customer base to support doing print runs of t-shirts, posters, what have you, then you're going to make more money per unit the more units you order at the same time, as long as you can be sure you're going to be able to move that inventory. If you're doing things on a print-on-demand basis, the cost to your customers is going to be higher per unit, and your profit is going to be lower per unit. But you can still set up a good stream of nickels going through a Zazzle store or a Cafe Press store, or any of these places that produce swag on the fly from designs that you upload. There's no practical reason not to do it other than the calculus of your time investment. There was one point where I had it. I think I've still got a Zazzle store, actually, but I haven't looked at it in years because we only moved a few units and then there just wasn't any demand for it. So I may be taking another look at that as I'm sort of making my entry back into the podcasting space with my fiction. And also over the years I've been building up some designs for a t-shirt wing of Artistic Whispers, but none of that's actually swag for my stuff. It's just humorous stuff on its own because I've got a really snarky sense of humor and, these things happen. But merchandise can be fantastic for two reasons. Number one, it's another stream of nickels. And number two, it is people paying you for the right to advertise your stuff, which is always a good thing from a business perspective. When people wear your logo or wear something that advertises your book or have a coffee mug that advertises your book, that's a conversation piece that will expose other people to your name, to the title of your series, to the titles of your characters, to the titles of your books. And that might get the occasional person looking for your books. More likely, what it will do is it will prime them so that when they encounter your name or your book in another context later, the awareness of your book then sticks in their memory because they've already got a hook for you in their brain. And that priming effect is one of the biggest and least understood things about marketing that's important. It's the reason why people who may not like Coca-Cola as well as Pepsi will still reach for a Coke. Because Coke's logo is everywhere, and we reach for what's familiar anytime we have choices we don't know how to choose between otherwise. So, in short, merchandising, I'm in favor of it. Be sure you budget your time the way that makes sense to you. I wouldn't sacrifice writing time to produce merchandise, but if you have other time that you're not going to be writing anyway, it can't hurt to put it out. Particularly if you do it well and you design products that might even be appealing on their own, irrespective of the fact that they're connected to your writing. I hope that helps, and I'll see you tomorrow. NaNoWriMo Every Month is written and presented by J. Daniel Sawyer and produced by Artistic Whispers Productions. Visit our website at nanowrimoeverymonth.com and leave a tip in the tip jar or join the Patreon to support this podcast. NaNoWriMo Every Month is copyright 2016 by J. Daniel Sawyer and Artistic Whispers Productions and is released under a Creative Commons Non-Commercial Attribution No Derivatives license.